do this one more time. Just be easier. Welcome back to the final Ruse diary from a bedroom, because I'm no longer in Indonesia. I left 2 weeks before the trip finished, and I'm now back in the UK, which I'm not bitter about whatsoever. And the rest of the guys are going to do another 2 weeks, one in Balian and one in Medewi, so they're going to have a great time. And we're going to do a nice little roundup video about why you should probably come on one of these trips. So I left the guys in Nusa I was only there for like 4 days, which was quite annoying. They were there for a week and then got a boat back to Bali and then went to Balian and Medewi. So they've got another 2 weeks of just perfect left-handers, which I'm very jealous about. But the whole thing about this trip was basically to get better at surfing. That's kind of what Ticket to Ride does. You kind of immerse yourself in that. Wake up, surf, breakfast, surf, lunch, surf, fall asleep, repeat. And if you've ever tried learning to surf at home, being from the UK, it's more about paddling in cold water, trying to read waves all by yourself, and then probably watching the YouTube tutorial about how to pop up or how to catch a wave. Whereas with a Ticket to Ride trip, it's kind of like, so this is a 6-week trip, this whole thing. So it's like 6 years of tuition in 6 weeks kind of thing. You're filmed on every wave that you, on every session that you surf. The video analysis that is happening daily, I'm pretty sure. And the people that you meet are all in that same sort of mindset of, we're here to get better at surfing, I want to get better at surfing, plus I want to travel and not really worry about where we're traveling to, because Ticket to Ride sort of covers all of that for you. And for Indo, where else can you wake up, paddle out with a bunch of mates, and then get barreled for breakfast? Disclaimer, I didn't do that. I haven't quite been barreled yet. But one of the best parts about a Ticket to Ride trip in general is the people that are there. Like I mentioned before, everyone's in a similar mindset. Everyone is kind of in the same boat, so to speak. And you end up meeting like lifelong friends. A lot of the time you go on a Ticket to Ride trip and then you end up meeting up with everyone, or a handful of the people from the trip back in the UK if you're all from the UK, or on a different trip. The coolest thing, David said this in our podcast, which you can see up in the top somewhere. David said it was like finding out that people who've been on the trip that you're mates with have now like booked their own surf trips together and are doing it on their own. This is just a really nice thing to witness. And also as a guest, finding similar friends with similar mindsets to go on surf trips and then just do it on your own, or meet up at another Ticket to Ride trip and you all have that one thing in common. And although the ability of the customers that are on these trips can be like complete beginner or advanced surfer, everyone's kind of the same, motivating each other, pushing each other, laughing at wipeouts, cheering if someone actually does get a barrel or does a really good turn. Very wholesome and very, very fun. There's a saying I use on these trips a lot, which is like misery loves company. And in the way that I mean that is that everyone's sort of learning their own thing. Like I said, everyone's of a different ability of surfing. So whatever you're learning, you're bound to fail, or you're bound to fall, or something will happen. So like misery loves company in a way that you're all learning, you're all falling and failing together. Best example is you go out pre-breakfast and have a session, great session, but worked on things, failed on things. And then you come back and everyone sort of compares that at breakfast, and it's like a really like bonding moment for everyone. Everyone laughs, everyone, remembers what's happened, like that wipeout you did, that nosedive, you got smashed, we're all alive and we're going to try again later on. And I feel like because of that community and that sort of everyone is like together, pushing yourself is less scary and more fun, and you're able to just sort of laugh it off and get back out and try it again, rather than taking it too seriously and getting really angry at yourself for not doing what you were trying to do. Having those people around you makes a trip like that so much nicer. And I'm probably one, as a good example, who used to take my surfing way too seriously. And now I know my ability and I'm happy with it. And if I get better, even better. But right now, if I can catch a wave and do a little turn, we're having fun. And because of that, the progress that people make on these trips, again, Ticket to Ride, going on a Ticket to Ride trip is about getting better as well as traveling and having a good time. The fundamentals of Ticket to Ride is coaching, and they've written like video analysis, photo analysis, in-water coaching analysis. Again, check out a video up here of David giving Anais like a in-water coaching session while I was just sat on a boat with my camera. Really, really insightful. like I said at the start, it's like 6 years of tuition in 6 weeks, which is, I don't think you can get that anywhere else. I've not seen it anywhere else, because it's daily coaching, surf theory, video analysis, surf specific like hip workouts, you know, or stretching, and you get to do it every day in warm, tropical, kind of perfect waves. So I can see why people get good quicker than they would, for example, back in the UK, where it's not that. I got back a couple of weeks ago and I went for a surf and it was average. No power behind the wave, didn't really run. So if you want to get better, go to a place that has really, really good consistent waves. And speaking of video analysis, again, I might be biased because I'm the guy that films. If I'm on a trip, hopefully we see each other. If I'm not on a trip, we usually have one of the trip leaders or someone. Basically every session gets filmed, so you will get your waves filmed, and then when they do the theory sessions, or the analysis sessions anyway, you'll look through your wave, you'll pinpoint all the bits you need to get better at, things you did well, things you did wrong. Often, or more often than not, they ask you what you think you did wrong, which is great for self-analysis, and then you start to realize what to do rather than being told what to do. You see things you wish you hadn't, and it's incredibly humbling. If you've never seen yourself surf before on video and you think, oh, I did that really sick turn, and then you go and watch it back with your coach, and then you're like, where's that massive turn I did? And they're like, no, this is it, this little one where you kind of tweaked and then came back down the wave. And you're like, this is past experience, by the way, and you're just like, nah, yeah, not as good as I remembered. So it's great for that. And probably for those of you that are on social media, it's also good just to sort of get a video out there on the gram and then show your friends that you can surf, or not. Or you can just use a still and then people won't know that you fell on that bottom. But yeah, all in all, just like an incredible trip that I'm so grateful to have been on. Thankful for Ticket to Ride to invite me on it to capture stuff. And if you're thinking about doing one, Indo's great. It really pushes your surfing. I even got a little bit better at my surfing when I wasn't filming. It's great for people that have surfed before. I think it is open to beginners, but at the same time, if you have surfed before, you will benefit from it more, because sometimes the waves there are a little bit more punchy and are a little bit more steep. So if you already know how to pop up and things like that, it's better. But saying that, I think you can be new to surfing and still go on the Indo trip, and then as you progress through all the different spots, Canggu, Lombok, Nusa Kambangan, Bali and Medewi, the other two might be flipped, but you also get to go and visit all these other places like Uluwatu and Kuta, and just experience all these different types of waves, which just experiencing different waves and trying out different boards really helps your surfing, in my opinion. And again, Ticket to Ride are there to help you and guide you on what you should be using, what waves you should be surfing, and it's a good old time. So if you're thinking about Indo, I highly recommend it. If it's not been clear already, you'll get better at surfing, that is without a shadow of a doubt. You will probably eat way too many nasi gorengs. You'll come back a better surfer, happier human being, and you'll probably have friends for life. Even the trip leaders. David is our resident trip leader in Indo. You'll see him in Indo, you'll see him in South Africa, and I think you'll see him in Sri Lanka as well. But David becomes your best mate. And that's what I love about it as well, that even though they are your coaches, they become friends. Wherever you go in your life that isn't even with Ticket to Ride, message your old trip leaders and be like, look what I did. And they'd be so stoked to hear that you're progressing and you're still surfing. Because that's what they love, is teaching you something that they're super passionate about, and that you get the same love for it and that same passion and continue to do it on your own. I hope you've enjoyed this final diary. Hopefully I'll get to go on another one soon and then do another Ruse diary. Maybe I'll go to Sri Lanka, maybe South Africa again. If you haven't watched any of them, I'll leave another link up here that has all of my diary playlists. But yeah, have a great day, and maybe see you on a Ticket to Ride trip or in the lineup somewhere around the world. See ya.